All right, let's dive in today, shall we? We're talking information management, or IM, for all of us working in the Canadian government.
And I bet some of you are thinking, ugh, paperwork.
But hold on, before you tune out thinking this is all about filing cabinets and staplers, I promise it's way more interesting and, dare I say, even a bit exciting.
It really is.
It's about how we, as public servants, can use information better, really leverage it to make a difference in the lives of Canadians.
Yeah, that's the heart of it.
So for this deep dive, our trusty guide is this document called IM, Guidance for Employees of the Government of Canada, Information Management Basics.
A bit of a mouthful.
Right. But it's basically our cheat sheet for making sure we're handling information in a way that's, efficient, transparent, and ultimately helps us better serve the public.
And it's surprisingly relevant for all of us.
Okay, so first things first, what exactly is IM?
Well, IM is more than just like organizing physical documents. It's about everything we touch, from emails and databases to meeting notes and even those scribbles on a napkin.
Oh yeah, those napkins.
It's about recognizing that information is a powerful tool and how we handle it directly impacts our ability to serve the public.
I like that, a powerful tool. So why should a busy public servant, someone juggling a million things, actually care about IM?
Because when information is well managed, it means things run smoothly. Like Canadians can actually see how decisions are made.
Ah, transparency.
Exactly. And we can also prove the impact of our work, show that what we do matters.
Accountability.
Yep. And when we can find the right information quickly, it means we can respond to people's needs more efficiently.
So it's about connecting those dots between IM and real-world impact.
Absolutely. And what's cool is this guide lays out some key IM principles, simple but powerful, like our guiding stars.
Guiding stars, I like that.
So the first one is create with purpose, meaning before you send that email or write that report, stop and think.
Think about.
Well, what's the goal here? What information is actually needed to do your job well and serve the public?
So it's about being intentional, creating information that truly matters.
Exactly. The next principle, capture and organize, is all about making sure information can be found when you need it.
Okay, but let's be real. Those departmental systems, they can be a bit of a black hole sometimes.
You're telling me.
How do we make sure they're working for us, not against us?
It's a two-way street. We need to use the systems properly, but also speak up if they're not cutting it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So share responsibly. That's a big one, especially in government where we're always collaborating.
Right. It's about being mindful of privacy, respecting confidentiality, and just using good judgment.
So before hitting send or share, think, who needs to see this? Do they have the right access?
Spot on. And lastly, protect and preserve. All about safeguarding information from, unauthorized access, loss, damage.
Sounds serious.
It is, but it's also simpler than you might think. Just follow those departmental policies, use strong passwords, and stay aware of things like phishing scams.
Okay, so it's like being a good guardian of the information we're entrusted with.
You got it. These principles, they might seem basic, but they build a strong foundation for good IM.
A foundation that helps us do our jobs better and ultimately serve Canadians better.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. So we've talked about those guiding principles, those guiding stars for IM.
Right.
But how do they actually play out in our day-to-day work as public servants?
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Totally. But it's important to remember that IM isn't just some abstract concept.
It's about helping us better serve Canadians, right?
Absolutely. And one way to see that connection is through the information life cycle.
Okay, the information life cycle.
It might sound a bit technical,
A little bit.
but it's really just a way to think about how we manage information from its creation to, well, its eventual end.
Like from birth to death.
Exactly. It starts with, creating the information.
Okay.
Then we use it, share it, and eventually we either archive it or dispose of it.
Right.
And each stage of this cycle needs careful thought to make sure that information stays accurate, accessible, and used responsibly.
I see. So how does understanding this life cycle actually help us better serve Canadians?
Well, let's say we're developing a new policy.
Yeah.
In the creation phase, we'd gather information from all sorts of places, do research, talk to stakeholders.
Right.
But all of that information, it needs to be documented and organized.
So we can understand the reasoning behind the policy.
Exactly. And it makes things transparent for Canadians.
It's like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs.
Exactly. It strengthens accountability, too. Then, as we implement the policy, we need to manage all the new information that comes in.
Like feedback, program data, evaluation reports, all that.
Exactly. And that information can help us improve the policy, make sure it's meeting people's needs.
So it's a continuous cycle.
Exactly. Creating, using, evaluating, improving.
Yeah.
And information is what fuels the whole thing.
Makes sense. But the guide also talks a lot about documentation, documenting our activities and decisions. Isn't that a bit much? I mean, we're all so busy.
I hear you. We
Yeah.
don't need to document every little thing, but capturing those key decisions, the why behind our actions, that's crucial.
It's like creating a roadmap.
Exactly. So others can follow our logic, and it's super helpful for things like access to information requests.
Okay, so it's not just about red tape. It helps protect us and the government too.
Exactly. Now, there's another part of the life cycle that often gets overlooked.
Oh.
Disposition.
Disposition.
Getting rid of stuff.
Isn't that like a big no-no in government?
You'd be surprised. We don't need to keep everything forever.
Really?
Seriously, holding on to everything creates clutter, costs money for storage, and makes it harder to find what you actually need.
Okay, so how do we decide what to toss?
Your IM specialists are a great resource for this. They can help you figure out what needs to be kept and for how long.
They're like the IM whisperers.
Yeah. And it's important to follow the rules here because improper disposal, it can have serious consequences.
Yikes, good point.
Now, let's talk about something that I'm sure we can all relate to. The digital deluge.
Oh, tell me about it. Overflowing inboxes, mountains of digital files.
It's a challenge, but IM can help us manage it all more effectively.
Okay, I'm all ears. Spill the secrets.
Well, first, ditch the idea that a clean inbox equals good IM. It's about having systems that work for you.
Okay, so not inbox zero every day.
Not necessarily. Use folders, labels, maybe even set up rules to automatically sort your emails.
So you can find what you need quickly.
Exactly. And the same goes for your digital files.
Core file names, organized folders, all that good stuff.
Right. It's about creating order out of the chaos. And remember, this is especially important when dealing with sensitive information.
Makes sense.
And what about all those collaboration tools we use? You know, like instant messaging, project management software, wikis?
Oh yeah, they're everywhere these days.
IM applies there too. In fact, it's even more crucial in those informal spaces because information can be shared and deleted so easily.
So even a quick chat on a messaging platform could have information that needs to be kept.
You got it. It's about having that IM mindset no matter where you're working or how you're communicating.
Okay, so how do we move away from seeing IM as this chore, you know?
I think it's all about highlighting the connection between good IM and the positive impact it has on our work.
Instead of focusing on the rules, we should focus on how IM can help us do our jobs better.
Exactly. Like instead of saying you have to file this document properly, we could say, by doing this, we're ensuring transparency and accountability to Canadians.
Right. It's about connecting IM to our core values as public servants.
And when people see how good IM can make their lives easier and help them deliver better services, they'll be more likely to get on board.
It's about changing the narrative.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important aspect, job changes.
Oh yeah, the revolving door of the public service.
Whether it's a promotion, a transfer, or leaving the government, these transitions present unique challenges and opportunities from an IM perspective. So we were just talking about job changes and how those transitions can impact information management.
Yeah, because whether you're moving on to a new opportunity or welcoming someone new to the team, information needs to flow smoothly.
Exactly. And luckily, that other resource we mentioned, that guidance on employee departure or transfer, it's got us covered.
Right. It's like our IM survival guide for those sometimes bumpy transitions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while we won't go through every detail here, let's highlight some key takeaways, for both sides of the equation, those leaving and those coming in.
Sounds good. So first up, for those departing, what's the golden rule?
Start early. Don't wait till your last day to figure out what to do with all your information.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be a recipe for disaster.
Total chaos. So as soon as you know you're leaving, connect with your manager and those IM specialists.
Get the ball rolling early.
Exactly. They can help you sort through everything, figure out what needs to be transferred, what can be archived, and what needs to be disposed of properly.
And don't forget about all that institutional knowledge, those little tips and tricks that aren't written down anywhere.
Oh, that's so important. It's like passing the torch, making sure that valuable knowledge doesn't disappear when you do.
Right. Now, on the flip side, what about those stepping into a new role? How can they ensure a smooth handover?
Be proactive. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. Take ownership of information management right from the start.
I know it can be overwhelming starting a new job. So much to learn, so many new systems.
But trust me, taking the time to understand those systems and processes early on will save you so much hassle later.
Makes sense. Don't be shy to ask questions, right?
Absolutely. Your manager and those IM specialists are there to help you navigate it all.
They're like the I am welcome wagon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing I want to emphasize is the human element of all this.
Yeah, because job transitions can be emotional times.
For sure. Excitement, anxiety, maybe a bit of sadness too.
And in all that, it's easy for information management to get lost in the shuffle.
That's why it's crucial to have open communication and collaboration. Both the departing and incoming employees need to feel comfortable asking questions, sharing knowledge, and working together to make that transition as smooth as possible.
It's a team effort.
Absolutely. We're all in this together, working towards the same goal, making sure information serves its purpose in the best way possible.
This has been a great conversation. I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, from those basic IM principles to the digital challenges we face and even those tricky job transitions.
And I think what really resonated with me is that good IM, it's not just about rules. It's about a way of thinking, a mindset.
Absolutely. It's about seeing information as a valuable asset, understanding its journey, and taking proactive steps to manage it effectively.
And embracing that culture of continuous improvement, always looking for ways to do things better.
Exactly. Because ultimately, good IM benefits everyone. It helps us public servants do our jobs better, and, most importantly, it helps us serve Canadians more effectively.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this IM Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, good IM is everyone's responsibility, so let's work together to make sure information continues to be a powerful force for good in the Canadian government.
Until next time, happy information managing.